Good morning. Welcome to our fabulous Friday. Let this be a day of new learnings, new beginnings. Today is a number 3 in date. They say number 3 is a number of creation. So let's create something today for ourselves and let's go and fulfill our dreams and desires as we manifest in our peak state programming. So let's start our morning. Yes, I'm a winner. How wonderful. Once again, let's do it. Yes. Each one of us is a winner for life. Oh, wonderful. So, who'd like to read today? Today is all about a beautiful lifestyle concept, which many of us are not yet familiar with, or many of us are familiar. Let's understand what is Luke bringing our way. So he says, eating less food than required and overdoing exercise will make you fat. So yes, thank you, Anju, for volunteering to read. Now let's get this fact clear, the science behind it. Over to you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Too many people are still trying to follow the wrong diet and the wrong concept of losing weight. Eating less than the recommended amount for you and exercising more than necessary is absolutely the worst way to lose weight. You may lose a couple of kilos initially, but then you will put on all the weight back on again. I know because half of my clients have experimented with 10-15 diets in their lifetime, most of which include eating less than necessary and over-exercising. Your body does not care about your size 0, six packs, flat stomach, or how much weight you aim to lose. Your body only cares about getting nutrition and energy from the food you eat. Even if your body is not getting that one nutrient that the cells need, it goes into the famine mode or stress mode in which you can't lose weight.
Let's turn the page.
You can force your body to lose 2 to 5 kilo initially with an intensive workout, strict dieting, and restricted calories. But more often than not, you will put it all back again, look older, lose hair, and see your skin change and have people say you look weak. You need to move your focus from calories to nutrients because every time you restrict your diet, you may deprive your body of certain vitamins and minerals that it needs to further break down carbohydrates, fats, and protein. Most people eat more than their bodies require because they eat too fast or mindlessly, with distractions such as watching TV or attending meetings. We never really focus on how much our body really needs. If you start eating only how much your body requires, you will lose weight. You don't have to undereat to do so. When you increase the amount you exercise, you need to increase your nutrient intake. Otherwise, your body puts on more weight. This comes back as ugly weight in your abdominal area or as love handles on the back of your thighs or under your arms. To lose weight, eat more of the right food and exercise more. This is the way athletes train too. On the days you cannot exercise or exercise less, you eat less. These two concepts are enough to help you balance your diet and exercise.
So very simply, we are being told to eat right. Now, how do we know how much to eat right? We start listening to our body. When we are putting some food in, how grateful are we? How are we feeling about the food that we're eating? What is it the body is telling? You want to eat more, or you want to stop here, or you don't want to eat? We start listening to our own body's language and continue to follow that. Now, that is the only direction. No nutritionist in the world will know what nutrition your body needs, what you have been depriving your body of. They will take a history, yes, they will. But how much to eat what, that your body will tell you. So let's start aligning with our bodies. Let's start hearing what they're saying, and let's eat what we think is right food. And again, the very first principle of eating this much in one meal. This much is the size of our stomach. And when we see that 80% full, we learned it even in Ikigai book, that when we feel that fullness, that okay, now I can eat a bit more, that's the time to stop. That's the time we'll be most comfortable and our body will go through digestion, assimilation very easily. We've discussed about a glass being full vis-a-vis being 80% full. If it's 80% full, we can go up and down, we can shake it. If it's 100%, neither can you shake it nor can you do anything. Our body does need that much space. Why? Because the food that we are eating has gases. Now, where will the gases go up? So if we are overfull, the gases will move from our intestines into our esophagus, and then you find burning, acidity, flatulence, because your stomach can't digest it. So let's understand these sciences and let's start listening to our body. Thank you so much, Anju, for reading. Thank you, Rahul, sir, for showcasing. We'll now move on to the power of now. Power of now, we have been discussing about happiness. What is there beyond happiness, and what is there beyond happiness and happiness? The feeling of peace. That's very, very important for all of us to understand. And today we're going to be talking about one main thing which we humans struggle from, and that is negativity. How using and relinquishing negativity is one thing that today we're going to be talking about. How resistance works, how negativity works, and how to undo it. So yes, Anju, let's start reading.
All inner resistance is experienced as negativity in one form or another. All negativity is resistance. In this context, the two words are almost synonymous. Negativity ranges from irritation or impatience to fierce anger, from a depressed mood or sullen resentment to suicidal despair. Sometimes the resistance triggers the emotional pain body, in which case even a minor situation may produce intense negativity such as anger, depression, or deep grief.
We have spoken about the fear, about the body. We have different types of bodies, and the pain body is the one which we are acquiring all the time. Anything which is negative, it gets stored there like a memory. And whenever something happens akin to that, it gets triggered off. This is also happening from a past life, that we are continuing this pain body in our presence. Now, whenever you find yourself in any kind of a mood which is not in the family of love, which is a family of lack of love, could it be irritation, sadness, despair, impatience, whatever it could be, please be on guard that, okay, this is where I have to work on myself. And what we do, firstly, let's understand whenever we see a situation like this, I had given you a thumb rule of telling yourself, asking yourself, who does this belong to? I surrender this to the Divine Mother. from wherever it's come, let's let it go back. We have to surrender the new acquired feeling that we're feeling right now, which definitely is not yours. When you and me will do this book unified in October, you'll realize that what am I talking about? You'll realize how powerful you'll become after that book. So yes, this is just a little preview into that book, and let's read further.
The ego believes that through negativity, it can manipulate reality to get what it wants. It believes that through it, it can attract a desirable condition or dissolve an undesirable one. A Course in Miracles rightly points out that whenever you are unhappy, there is an unconscious belief that the unhappiness buys you what you want. If you, the mind, did not believe that unhappiness works, why would you create it? The fact is, of course, that negativity does not work. Instead of attracting a desirable condition, it stops it from arising. Instead of dissolving an undesirable one, it keeps it in place. Its only useful function is that it strengthens the ego, and that is why the ego loves it.
So very important to understand whatever we are going through is by now, I think everyone's clear. Whatever emotions we're going through, it's because of us, because of our need. So we all know that even negative feelings which we're feeling is because we need them. Why do we need them? Because sometimes our mind thinks, okay, this is what will make me whole and complete. This is what will make me, feel happy. This is what will make me feel that this is working. Now that this is working for anything with lack of love is also disastrous. Why? Because that very time you have attracted something which is undesirable, and anything with lack of love is full of like negativity, and negativity will never ever ever give you results. Whatever you were manifesting will be on a full stop right there, or there will become a huge pause. It will not continue to go forward just because, unfortunately, you have attracted and are feeling the undesirable feeling, whatever you felt. And you feel that time, okay, this works. But please understand, whenever you're not feeling good about something, it is because that time you've attracted something negative. But obviously, your ego will, yeah, I did it. Oh, it's going to love it because this is negativity and ego are together. Ego is all about I, me, and am. And then ego says, feel this emotion and you will do it. When there are people, I don't know how many of you have seen, "Arre, khal, kuch nahi fark padta, hum to aise hi hain." People, that's what is ego. So let's understand that if you are manipulating yourself unknowingly or knowingly and going towards a negative feeling, it's because you feel the need for that. So that is a time to reflect deep within that, do I really need this emotion? Definitely, I'm the one who's attracted it. Firstly, acceptance. You can't say, nahi, main to attract nahi kiya, apne aap aa gaya. No. 200% we have attracted it for whatever reasons, whether you consciously know it or you don't know it. So the minute we identify that we are going through this feeling, we have to snap out of it. How do we snap out of it? By using logic, by talking to ourselves. Remember, we talked about the power of listening. Here is where we talk to ourselves. Do I really need this emotion? Will this emotion make me reach this goal of mine? Why have I attracted this? Who does this belong to? I surrender this emotion right now, right here to Divine Mother. That's it. We have these mantras, we have our feelings, we know how to go about it. Yes, let's see the next paragraph.
Once you have identified with some form of negativity, you do not want to let go. And on a deeply unconscious level, you do not want positive change. It would threaten your identity as a depressed, angry, or hard done by person. You will then ignore, deny, or sabotage the positive in your life. This is a common phenomenon. It is also insane. Negativity is totally unnatural. It is a psychic pollutant, and there's a deep link between the poisoning and destruction of nature and the vast negativity that has accumulated in the collective human psyche. No other life form on the planet knows negativity, only humans. Just as no other life form violates and poisons the earth that sustains it. Have you ever seen an unhappy flower or a stressed oak tree? Have you come across a depressed dolphin? A frog that has a problem with self esteem? A cat that cannot relax? Or a bird that carries hatred and resentment? The only animals that may occasionally experience something akin to negativity or show signs of neurotic behavior are those who live in close contact with humans and so linked to the human mind and its insanity.
Can you understand this? We human beings, because of society, I'm not saying just because of ourselves, because the conditioning of our environment have unfortunately taken on some qualities which are negative. Fear. So in a very young age, parents will say, hey, don't walk like this, you'll fall down. The fear of not the fear. And that is, and the competition, the peer pressure. So that is something which is, it's come. Okay, fine, it's come. You can't just say that, okay, it's come, it's going to here, it's going to be here. And you can't allow that to rule your life. Now that you know that it's there, you know negativity is something that is environment born. That means you can shirk it off because unknowingly or knowingly you have got that in you. And imagine collectively human psyche is going through negativity. Only the human beings feel it. No plant beings, no animal beings, nobody except for us. And people associated closely with us start feeling it. So let's understand that we are the only ones who have it, and we are the only ones who can send it off. Now we are going to be reading a bit more about this.
Watch any plant or animal and let it teach you acceptance of what is. Surrender to the now. Let it teach you being. Let it teach you integrity, which means to be one, to be yourself, to be real. Let it teach you how to live and how to die, and how not to make living and dying into a problem. I have lived with several Zen masters, all of them cats. Even ducks have taught me important spiritual lessons. Just watching them is a meditation. How peacefully they float along, at ease with themselves, totally present in the now, dignified and perfect, as only a mindless creature can be. Occasionally, however, two ducks will get into a fight, sometimes for no apparent reason, or because one duck has strayed into another's private space. The fight usually lasts only for a few seconds, and then the ducks separate, swim off in opposite directions, and vigorously flap their wings a few times. They then continue to swim on peacefully as if the fight had never happened. When I observed that for the first time, I suddenly realized that by flapping their wings, they were releasing surplus energy and thus preventing it from being trapped in their body and turning into negativity. This is natural wisdom, and it is easy for them because they do not have a mind that keeps the past alive unnecessarily and then builds an identity around it.
Now, this phenomena is also been given on human beings, on men. That I don't know if you've heard of this. Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Women are coming too much with emotions. Men are pretty that way sorted. They do not let the past come in the present very easily. I'm not saying that all of them are like that, generically. So if you have trapped negativity from the past, and if you're allowing that to come into your present, you have to naturally be wise and understand that this is happening. And you have to let go of the past. Letting go is very, very, very integral, very, very, very important. And there's a whole book about this, which we're going to be reading in the next series. So once we let go, things magic start happening because you're no longer hoarding, you're no longer holding to something which is very tight, which is something which is not out of a good feeling zone. The next question that Eckhart was asked was, couldn't a negative emotion also contain an important message? For example, if I often feel depressed, it may be a signal that there is something wrong with my life. And it may force me to look at my life situation and make some changes. So I need to listen to what the emotion is telling me. and not just dismiss it as a negative emotion. So very important to understand that what are we trying to analyze? This analysis is so beautiful. This question is so deep. And let's hear the answer. Yes, please.
Yes, recurring negative emotions do sometimes contain a message, as do illnesses. But any changes that you make, whether they have to do with your work, your relationships, or your surroundings, are ultimately only cosmetic unless they arise out of a change in your level of consciousness. And as far as that is concerned, it can only mean one thing: becoming more present. When you have reached a certain degree of presence, you don't need negativity anymore to tell you what is needed in your life situation. But as long as negativity is there, use it. Use it as a kind of signal that reminds you to be more present.
Now, whenever situations are coming, we've talked about this before, when a pattern is repeating itself, it is a signal for us to take a lesson from it. We haven't understood the life lesson, so the pattern is repeating again and again and again. And this could be anything. It could be with a person who loses a lot of her jewelry, or it could be a person who is all the time getting angry again and again. It could be a person who drives recklessly and meets accidents again and again. It could be a person who's all the time getting sick now, tomorrow, day after, or talking about it. These recurring negative emotions definitely at times, if in a pattern, are some kind of messages for us. It's on us to understand that we no longer need that feeling right now. We surrender it. And what do? Pull ourselves into the present. The minute you are in the present, remember we talked about the present, it's free from any negativity. It's whole and complete because you're like, okay, now what is it now? But the point is, very few of us, very, very, very few of us actually live in the now. Now, this now could even be 5 minutes ago. Like right now, Anju could be reading with me, but while I'm saying something, she's not hearing me. She's actually pondering on what is there just a minute or two ago. I've given her example because today she's a reader and I'm the speaker, for example. Or I'm speaking to you right now, but I'm thinking, oh, what happened a minute ago? And all of us know we can multitask. Our mind can be in 2, 3 places. We can be saying something, doing something, and believing something. A very beautiful example is my dad. He reads the newspaper, he's watching television, he even knows what's happening, conversation in the room, and who's talking on the phone with whom and what. So the mind is multitasking, but what messages are we taking it forward? Are we truly living in the present, or it's all about past and future? The minute you do that, the minute you consciously align, how many of you are making effort these days from last 1 month to start living in the present by concentrating on your breathing and just 3 deep breaths and then just saying, okay, now we had this beautiful exercise by Eckhart where he asked us, okay, now we've centered, balance, aligned. Now, what is the next thought? And nothing came. Just the thoughtlessness came. How wonderful that so many of you are making efforts. This conscious effort of just being in the now is the most magical feeling ever. And I urge all of you to please put some mobile reminders, if possible, 3, 4, 5 across the day. And just you can just put being or in the now. Get yourself in the now. So when your reminder rings, you can just quickly do that. And that's possible even at your work front. So even if you're working, you can do that until otherwise you can keep snoozing for till a while that you get a little isolation. Now, the next question is beautiful. How do we stop negativity from arising? And how do we get rid of it once it is there? So deep, so wonderful, and has a long explanation. Let's go through it paragraph by paragraph.
As I said, you stop it from arising by being fully present. But don't become discouraged. There are as yet few people on the planet who can sustain a state of conscious, continuous presence, although some are getting close to it. Soon, I believe, there will be many more.
And you all are part of it because all of you are trying to be fully present. And that in itself is a good ascension. We are trying to be in the now. We are consciously trying to be in the now, which is beautiful. Yes.
Whenever you notice that some form of negativity has arisen within you, Look on it not as a failure, but as a helpful signal that is telling you, wake up, get out of your mind, be present. There is a novel by Aldous Huxley called Island, written in his later years when he became very interested in spiritual teachings. It tells the story of a man shipwrecked on a remote island cut off from the rest of the world. This island contains a unique civilization. The unusual thing about it is that its inhabitants, unlike those of the rest of the world, are actually sane. The first thing that a man notices are the colorful parrots perched in the trees, and they seem to be constantly croaking the words attention, here and now, attention, here and now. We later learn that the islanders taught them these words in order to be reminded continuously to stay in the present.
How wonderful. So obviously we don't have these beautiful parrots in our houses, right? Or perched on our shoulder. So how about these mobile alarms? Just because we have to have attention in the now, the power of now, we have to train ourselves. You know, if you start training thrice a day initially, then it becomes six, then eight, then 10. You'll realize that, very soon, not very soon, as in a couple of days, a couple of weeks later, you would have started to consciously elevate yourself in the power of now. And when that happens, magic happens. Now, there's a befitting example is Alifia. She was in the power of now. She realized she has her menstrual cycle is going on. She realized she had a COVID vaccine. She knew that fever and pain are bound to come. Then what did she do? She simply observed her body. Okay, the pain's coming, the pain's going, and it's fully gone. She's not harping on the pain and the fever. Remember, negativity cannot sustain in an atmosphere where it's not welcomed. Negativity or positivity will stay. In fact, any emotion will stay only if it's given attention. Today, if I do not have, of course, love is something which is always there with us, whether you feel it or whether you don't feel it. But anything lack of love will only come if you are ready to accept it. And when I say accept it means you're ready to welcome it. Now, if there's something coming and you're not welcoming it, it's going to go. Look at this feeling like a relative. Now, the relative comes to you for a cup of coffee, but you're not even welcoming him, you're not even offering him coffee, like don't even sit down, just being so rukha. He will move on unless and until he's a deed, right? So please understand, 99% we are going to eliminate the negative thoughts by simply observing what is coming. And how do we observe? By staying in the power of now. Now is beautiful. Now absolutely has no problem. The problem is in the past or the future. If future is beautiful and you are going to learn and do something, strive towards it, like manifest and creatively visualize, oh, more power to you. If past is beautiful, where you're enjoying, for example, gratitude, you're writing gratitude, right? Now, gratitude is all about past. But if it's beautiful and giving you a lesson that, wow, count your blessings, so more power to you. But if past has something ugly and you're harping on that, हमेशा ऐसे होता है भाई, हमारा तो हमेशा ऐसे होता है. So what are we doing? We're expanding on that. So please, our next paragraph, it's all about what do you feel when negativity comes? So yes.
So, whenever you feel negativity arising within you, whether caused by an external factor, a thought, or even nothing in particular that you're aware of, look on it as a voice saying, attention, here and now, wake up. Even the slightest irritation is significant and needs to be acknowledged and looked at. Otherwise, there will be cumulative buildup of unobserved reactions. As I said before, you may be able to just drop it once you realize that you don't want to have this energy field inside you and that it serves no purpose. But then make sure that you drop it completely. If you cannot drop it, just accept that it is there and take your attention into the feeling, as I pointed out earlier.
So again, become very, very mindful of the fact that whenever you feel there's a shift in your energy, which is not towards what you want it to be, you have to simply pull yourself in the power of now. Even the slightest irritation, you're irked about something, You need to accept it, acknowledge it, but not expand it. They are not welcome. So you have observed these reactions, but they're not welcome. What do? You just allow to observe and let it go. I'm going through this emotion right now. I've spoken about this. For example, you have thyroid. What do you say? I'm going through thyroid right now. You don't say, I have thyroid. But what do we say? Oh, I have a headache. I have this. I have that. When you say, I have, you're affirming that the need is here to stay. As I said, the negativity is, oh, wow, she says she has it. Amazing. More power to us. Let's stay in her body. So please do not expand on the negative feelings. We all are human beings. Negativity will come. It's not like we can be picture perfect. We will feel negative. But once you realize it, we have to drop it by just saying that this energy field is not something that I need to be in. It serves no purpose. And I surrender this energy field. And I accept only the positivity, and I'm open and receptive. You have so many affirmations, so many things that you've been working on yourself on. So please understand, you have the power. You don't need me. All of you have the power. Just do it, accept it, and just take your attention to the feeling and enjoy the fading away of those lack of love feelings. Otherwise, what else can we do? Let's read about it.
As an alternative to dropping a negative reaction, you can make it disappear by imagining yourself becoming transparent to the external cause of the reaction. I recommend that you practice it with little, even trivial things first. Let's say that you are sitting quietly at home. Suddenly, there's a penetrating sound of a car alarm from across the street. Irritation arises. What is the purpose of this irritation? None whatsoever. Why did you create it? You didn't. You didn't. The mind did. It was totally automatic, totally unconscious. Why did the mind create it? Because it holds the unconscious belief that its resistance, which you experience as negativity or unhappiness in some form, will somehow dissolve the undesirable condition. This, of course, is a delusion. The resistance that it creates, the irritation or anger in this case, is far more disturbing than the original cause, because that is an attempting to dissolve. All this can be transformed into a spiritual practice. Feel yourself becoming transparent, as it were, without the solidity of a material body.
1 second. So you haven't changed the page? Yes.
Now, allow the noise or whatever causes a negative reaction to pass right through you. It is no longer hitting a solid wall inside you. As I said, practice with little things first: the car alarm, the dog barking, the children screaming, the traffic jam. Instead of having a wall of resistance inside you that gets constantly and painfully hit by things that should not be happening, let everything pass through you.
We've spoken about this. Now, if I'm in a traffic jam and I'm like, oh God, late ho gaya, traffic mil gaya, arey kitna deer aur lage bhaiya. What's happening? I'm allowing that negativity to seep into me. I'm allowing my situation to get onto my nerves. And that is when I'm going to start yelling, jaldi karo, yahan se le lo, ye kar lo, wo kar lo. But if I just say, if I try and transform this into a spiritual practice, oh, there's traffic. So let it be. This too shall pass. It's okay. And I get busy in probably playing in my mobile, maybe playing a game, or maybe talking to someone. And say, okay, this is time for reflection. Let me speak to my mom or my dad or whoever I love, my child, whoever. Remember, when you resist things, they come to you in a much bigger way. Again, I'm saying it's easier said than done. But if we start practicing whatever is being preached, we will realize that we become better versions of ourselves. And if we stop thinking, like with me, I gave an example some time ago. I have a fear of dogs. I just can't handle dogs, especially the ferocious large ones. So I went to a friend's place to stay with them one night, which was very unplanned. And I was on a business trip, and all of a sudden, Rajasthan was supposed to close down. And I called them up that I'm coming and staying with you. Now, in the morning, they had to go for a YPO event. So I was like, I also have to travel back to Delhi. It's perfect. They left, and I was taking a stroll in the park. All of a sudden, my antennas went up. What if the dog comes? What will I do? And lo and behold, the dog came. Whatever we're expanding on gets expanded. But the old me would have cried, would have just done something. I don't know what I would have done. Dog is taller than me. His paws are here and I can feel them, and he's taller than me. I just relaxed myself and I said, it's okay. This too shall pass. Nothing will happen. And I gave him a strong command, very unlike me, very unlike me. And I navigated him all the way inside the house, opened the door, shut, he walked inside and just closed the door. So now he can't come out. Why? Because I did not allow the panic to, panic came. The thought came, the panic came. But I allowed it to settle down by actually working on it. If you're screaming, if you're shouting, if you're expanding, the problem is going to just increase. So please ask yourself this question. Am I in the now? Do I require this emotion? And automatically your body will tell you, no, you don't. And let's surrender. Let's accept it right now because this too shall pass. The last line of this paragraph is, let everything pass through you. It could be the way Alifia had fever, it passed through her. It could be thyroid, it'll pass through you. If you have cervical, it'll pass through you. So if you have something and you're saying, I have, that there is a sense of ownership. And your ego loves that. I have it. So when you become one and you say, okay, this too shall pass, it will pass. Let's read the next paragraph.
Somebody says something to you that is rude or designed to hurt. Instead of going into unconscious reaction and negativity, such as attack, defense, or withdrawal, you let it pass through you. Offer no resistance. It is as if nobody there.
There is nobody.
It is as if there is nobody to. Sorry.
That's okay.
It is as if there is nobody there to get hurt anymore. That is forgiveness. In this way, you become invulnerable. You can still tell that person that his or her behavior is unacceptable if that is what you choose to do. But that person no longer has the power to control your inner state. You are then in your power, not in someone else's, nor are you run by your mind. Whether it is a car alarm, a rude person, a flood, an earthquake, or the loss of all your possessions, the resistance mechanism is the same.
Very important to understand this. There are people who sap us of energy, but that's something we've told ourselves. Okay, this person saps me of energy, so it is. But if you start changing yourself, this is just one of my old feelings. It's not the truth. And whenever he or she says something like, oh, this person is speaking out of his or her intelligence, and this doesn't affect me because I know that's not the truth. The minute you take ownership of your truth and this, whatever the person is saying, you don't accept it, it's no longer yours and you will not get very irritated. I've given an example sometimes about a monk, who he was in the village and somebody's like giving him a lot of, he's abusing him, saying a lot of things, and his sisters are very, very upset. It's like, what happened to you, master? How did you not retaliate? He says, he was like an uninvited guest in my house. He got offerings. I never took the offering. So why should I react? The offerings are back to him. He can keep saying more and more and more, but it doesn't affect me. And we've talked about what is forgiveness, forgiving love. So if somebody is saying something to you which is vile and not acceptable, still forgive him or her, because you are meant for giving love and not for, holding on to those negativity and manifesting into some disease or some kind of problem. So this is where we are. This is where we're giving the power to control the inner state, which is beautiful. Sometimes Santulan is very important. Balance is very important. And how do you balance? By giving it power, by not allowing the negativity to run your mind, but accepting it, forgiving it, and going through it the way it's meant to be. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going, right? So this is what we're going to be all conditioning ourselves into. So we accept very gracefully, and we're going to be moving on. Yes, I'm sure, Alifia. That's what, in fact, by only dogs. Any animal only attacks if they feel the fear, because animals don't attack at all. They are peace loving because they don't even know all these emotions. When they feel threatened, they will. Somebody alien, not in the comfort zone, they may. So the next question was, I have been practicing meditation. I have been to workshops. I have read many books on spirituality. I try to be in a state of non-resistance. But if you ask me whether I have found true and lasting inner peace, my honest answer is would have to be no. Why haven't I found it? What else can I do? And that's something which all of you also can say. अरे हम तो मॉर्निंग सेशंस में ऑलमोस्ट 1-to-1 डेज से हैं, मेडिटेशन भी कर रहे हैं, ये भी वर्कशॉप करा, फलां भी करा, इतनी 10 किताबें पढ़ ली स्पिरिचुअलिटी पे, फिर भी तो हम इतना ऊपर नहीं एलिवेट हो पाए, हमें तो लास्टिक इनर हैप्पीनेस नहीं मिल पाया. ओके फाइन, दैट्स ग्रेट, नहीं मिल पाया, लेकिन कुछ मिला है. Ask ourselves, have we become better? You know, if you're going to keep finding, one day we will find, or in the process we may just find. But if you start acknowledging that little thing that we found, we are giving power to it, and it'll say, oh, I'm here to stay with you. Otherwise, if you don't acknowledge some good thing that has come in your life, for example, I see Shivangi on my screen right now, and Shivangi says kuch bhi nahi mila. Okay, so fine, kuch bhi nahi mila, to jo kuch mila hai na, that'll just go out of her life because she hasn't been grateful for what she's got. But she says, no, I've realized that, you know, I've become stable. Oh, I have a better relationship with this. Oh, this has happened. Oh, this has happened. Then those qualities will say, oh, she welcomes me. She acknowledges me. De rai durust hai. Ab to she's acknowledging. So let me stay and let me become better because she has acknowledged me. We spoke about this yesterday also. Acknowledgement is so important. Appreciation is so important. Gratitude is so important. These are virtues which we can never, ever, ever go wrong with. Now, the answer to this beautiful question, which is also an answer to all of us, let's read it.
You are still seeking outside, and you cannot get out of the seeking mode. Maybe the next workshop will have the answer, maybe that new technique. To you, I would say, don't look for peace. Don't look for any other state than the one you are in now. Otherwise, you will set up inner conflict and unconscious resistance. Forgive yourself for not being at peace. The moment you completely accept your non peace becomes transmuted into peace. Anything you accept fully will get you there, will take you into peace. This is the miracle of surrender.
But how many of us actually feel and face the miracle of surrender? मुझे बहुत गुस्सा आता है, मुझे बहुत गुस्सा आता है. Suppose if I say that, मुझे और गुस्सा आएगा. But if I start affirming, oh, I am peace loving, oh, I'm peace loving, oh, I'm peace loving. I say it 100 times without feelings, okay, fine. But the 101 times, a little feeling is coming. You know, that's what in the spiritual world they say, fake it till you make it. That's exactly what's happening. So, but for that, we have to accept, no? We have to accept whatever it is as is. I can't change the present moment with whatever shortcomings there is until I accept it. So even if I have a blemish or say I have many freckles on my face and I don't like them, I have to accept them for changing them into better versions. There are people and men and women, they keep talking about their hair. अरे bald हो रहा है, अरे bald हो रहा है, अरे बाल का quality अच्छा नहीं, अरे. So until you accept your hair the way they are, your hair will not go through transformation. The miracle of surrender is very important. Forgive yourself for not being at peace. It's okay. आपने नहीं accept किया, उसके लिए भी आप forgiveness कर दो कि हाँ मैं नहीं कर पाई. Accept तो करो, कुछ तो accept करो. The moment you completely accept your unsatisfied feeling, your non-peace, you will start elevating yourself into the real picture that you want to be. And for this, you have to accept. So remember, these beautiful last few days have been talking to us about surrendering, have been talking to us about how each one of us can evolve by accepting, acknowledging, surrendering. That is what we've learned. On this beautiful note, let's close our eyes and take a moment's silence. I'm learning to be in the present moment. free from any past or future. And if any past or future crops in, I learn to accept it, forgive myself or others if I have been rude or they have been out of line. Manifest by surrendering. And the magic, the miracles begin. So it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Yes, let's read the next bit, please.
You may have heard the phrase, turn the other cheek, which a great teacher of enlightenment used 2000 years ago. He was attempting to convey symbolically the secret of non-resistance and non-reaction. In this statement, as in all his others, he was concerned only with your inner reality, not with the outer conduct of your life. Do you know the story of Banzan? Before he became a great Zen master, he spent many years in pursuit of enlightenment, but it eluded him. Then one day, as he was taking a walk in the marketplace, he overheard a conversation between a butcher and his customer. Give me the best price of the meat you have, said the customer. And the butcher replied, every piece of meat I have is the best. There is no piece of meat here that is not the best. Upon hearing this, Banzan became enlightened. I can see you're waiting for some explanation. When you accept what is, every piece of meat, every moment is the best. That is enlightenment.
How beautiful. Karishma, can you take your hand off this? Just if you want, maybe put your hand here. Because when you're putting a hand here, we are somewhat blocking ourselves, yeah? This beautiful story about the first bit about a Zen master 2000 years ago, where he turned the other cheek, is something our own Mahatma Gandhi followed. When somebody would slap, he would put the other cheek, okay, come on, bring it on. Because he did not resist it. He did not react. And that is what happens truly in our life when we become so comfortable with whatever is happening in our life, that everything is okay. Somebody has hurt me, it's okay. So if you go through an accident, you're like, why me? Why did I have to go through this accident? Vis-a-vis, okay, fine, this has happened. It's okay. It's time for me to take a pause. Now, Banzan's, this beautiful feeling is amazing. Everything that is delivered to us in our body, any emotion, any feelings, is there for us to learn something. Even the weight that we are holding on to our body is there to teach us something. Problem is we haven't learned. If you have thyroid or you have, diabetes, it's there to teach you something. Have you learned from it? If not, the thyroid level will go up, the diabetes level will go up, the weight will go up. You are just, oh, I have this, I have this, I have this. We're talking with vengeance. And what's happening? Though you're expanding on it, it's increasing more and more and more. Every piece of meat here is the best. Everything I have in my body is the best. I know I have it for a reason, and this is a lesson I've learned from it. In here comes Louis Hay. So when you have a medical dis-ease, you know the reason behind it. Read the reason and reflect in your life. Oh, have I learned this lesson? Then accept it. Make your own notes, reflect on it, and start using your affirmation. And things will change. But the only thing is, one needs integrity for this. One needs commitment for this. Thrice a day minimum, morning, midday, and night. If you're doing this, everything happens. Again, I'm saying I'm not a role model for this. When I do this, this works like magic. When I don't do this, it doesn't work like magic. So now we have to get elevated to do this. If you really want something, if we really accept it as is, we now realize the need, we accept it, we surrender it, we manifest, for sure we will get whatever we want. And a lot of us have got a lot of things like this. So many goals achieved, and it's unbelievable when you all write to me, ye bhi ho gaya, ye bhi ho gaya, ye bhi ho gaya, and when you just speak to me, and I'm like, wow, it's all you're doing. They're like, no, it's yours. I said, no, it's not mine. I accept that I'm a channel. That's it. My role stops there. I could be a channel for all of you, but some of you will elevate, some of you will not. Those who will elevate are the ones who are coming diligently, practicing and not just hearing. Yeah. Now let's hear about the nature of compassion. Compassion is one of the most beautiful virtues we can evolve and develop in ourselves. Now let's talk about this.
Having gone beyond the mind made opposites, you become like a deep lake. The outer situation of your life and whatever happens there is the surface of the lake, sometimes calm, sometimes windy and rough, according to the cycles and seasons. Deep down, however, the lake is always undisturbed. You are the whole lake, not just the surface, and you are in touch with your own depth, which remains absolutely still. You don't resist change by mentally clinging to any situation. Your inner peace does not depend on it. You abide in being, unchanging, timeless, deathless, and you are no longer dependent for fulfillment or happiness on the outer world of constantly fluctuating forms. You can enjoy them, play with them, create new forms, appreciate the beauty of it all, but there will be no need to attach yourself to any of it.
What did you construe out of this? Okay, the speaker right now is Anju. What do you construe out of this paragraph about compassion?
Well, I don't think it talked about compassion. It talked about just being still, being unchanged deep within. Things may come and go, they may bother you for a time, they will disturb you for a time, but still deep within you should have that stillness, that calmness to continue that.
And what's compassion?
Compassion was love. I mean, to my
Compassion
understanding,
is acceptance as well, being calm, not getting deterred.
okay.
And what have we been taught? That our inner peace does not depend on any outer changes in life.
Mm.
We are being unchanged, we are timeless, we are deathless. And when we accept this beautiful fact, when we have compassion for life as such, then everything is happiness. Everything is amazing. Ups and downs, fluctuations, varying in life, we have to enjoy them moment by moment. We have to create new forms, appreciate the beauty of everything in life, and we have no need to attach ourselves to any of it. When we don't have any attachment, that is when there's compassion, there's love, there's acceptance, and there is this very fact that everything in life is beautiful. When you understand that beautiful meaning, that is when you become a true evolved human being. That's why, when we are having our stuff, we always say, give me compassion, give me kindness. Now, when you are in this compassionate, what is compassion? We'll be talking about this in the coming being, but the very fact that, we don't allow anything to be, somebody's suffering, you're like, oh, it's okay, it's all fine. You're just accepting it for everything. Even that is a part of compassion. Of course, deeper down, we will study what happens about it. The next question was, when you become so detached, detached, does it mean that you have also you also become remote from other human beings? आप क्या अलग हो जाते हो when you become so detached? No. The answer is, let's read the answer.
So just one thing to add, because now I understand it better. Our Jain gurus say कि आप ज्ञाता दृष्टा बनो, meaning acknowledge it, see it, isolate yourself from the situation and see it seeing it pass. Don't become involved. Watch it as though you're an outsider and
Observer,
it will
yes.
pass.
Yes.
So I think this is exactly what they're saying by meaning Yatra Drishta. Shayad.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Let's read.
When you become this detached, does it mean that you also become remote from other human beings? On the contrary, as long as you are unaware of being, the reality of other humans will elude you because you have not found your own. Your mind will like or dislike this form, which is not just their body, but includes their mind as well. True relationship becomes possible only when there's an awareness of being. Coming from being, you will perceive another person's body and mind as just a screen, as it were, behind which you can feel their true reality as you feel yours. So, when confronted with someone else suffering or unconscious behavior, you stay present and in touch with being, and thus able to look beyond the form and feel the other person's radiant and pure being through your own. At the level of being, all suffering is recognized as an illusion. Suffering is due to the identification with form. Miracles of healing sometimes occur during this realization. By awakening being consciousness in others if they are ready.
Very important to understand that when you're realizing somebody is suffering, why are they suffering? Somebody could be even you. Because we become attached to some kind of a ideal situation. And when that doesn't materialize, we're like, oh, ye nahi hua. And then that's when suffering starts happening. Now, whether you are suffering or whether somebody else is suffering, what do you have to do? Your heart is full of love. Transmit some love. Be a channel of love. You don't have to tell the person, oh, I'm giving you a lot of love. Are you feeling it? No. Just be there. Be compassionate. Observe him or her and be the channels for love. And the same person who was like helter-skelter energy everywhere will all of a sudden become calm and composed. And then realize that, you have been a channel and it's beautiful. Sometimes, of course, if the person is ready, you can go for like a planned meditation or something, but that's different. Initially, when you're suffering, that's because your identification is with some form. And you can always heal people. You can always bring the miracles in life by just realizing that, okay, the person is going and the person needs love. And that is when you're sending love to him or her and you're helping him elevate in his present moment. And that, of course, depends a lot on the person. How receptive is he? So, for example, if I am sitting in front of somebody and I'm like, my hands are folded, am I receptive? मैंने हाथ के सामने तो एक barrier लगा लिया. So if I'm open and receptive, I'll probably be like this. But obviously, not everyone will be in abundant pose, but you can just see their body energy. Now, the question is that what compassion is? Yes, let me read this. Yes. Compassion is the awareness of a deep bond between yourself and all creatures. But there are two sides to compassion, two sides to this bond. On the one hand, since you are still there as a physical body, you share the vulnerability and morality of your physical form with every other human and every living being. Next time you say, I have nothing in common with this person, remember that you have a great deal in common. A few years from now, 2 years or 70 years, it doesn't matter, make much difference. Both of you will have become rotting corpses, then piles of dust and nothing at all. This is a sobering, humbling realization that leaves little room for pride. Is this a negative thought? No, it's a fact. Why close your eyes to it? In that sense, there is total equality between you and the other creature. One of the most important and powerful spiritual practices is to meditate deeply on the morality of physical forms, including your own. This is called die before you die. Go into deeply. Your physical form is dissolving, is no more. Then a moment comes and all mind forms or thoughts also die. Yet you are still there. The divine presence that you are, radiant, fully awake, nothing that was ever real, ever died, only names, forms, and illusions. Now, how many of you agree with this? We have tried past life regression. हम सबने try करी है. Some of us have even died and seen about like a soul elevate. How was the feeling? For those who've done it, for those who haven't done it, they will not know. How was the feeling? You were there, but not there. Yet you, it's one word, yet you are still there. You felt free. Yeah, you felt it's just going on like one thing to another, to another, to another. Ekdam say whether I was in Arabic, whether I was Sikni, whether I was whoever I was, it didn't matter. Why? Because the divine presence is there in you, right? You, the soul, are there. It's forever. It just changed. Absolutely. Felt amazing and free. Yes, because We are how it is. And the minute we realize that, oh, everything has a life process of its own, why do I have to be so stuck about things and people and situations? That's when I really understand the meaning of compassion. You have realized it, so you have elevated. What about the others? Just because they have realized, can you start ridiculing them? नहीं, then we become ज्ञान में आते हैं ज्ञान पता अरे ये तो life है भैया लोग आते हैं जाते हैं चले जाएंगे अरे that person can't accept the person has just lost somebody loved. But what can you do? You can become the channels for healing him or her without your hands being like this. Remember, healing goes in any possible way. Remember, there is this eternal oneness between him, her, or you also. So start understanding that. And if we move away from this physical form, this love for this physical form, we will get pretty much okay. So when somebody loved one goes by, I'm not saying you'll not feel bad, but you will be able to accept it much more than you could have in some other life. Yeah. So like in shamanism also they show about this. They take you for this experience and they're taking you in places which is beautiful. So yeah, more power to all of us. Let's ponder on this. Let's take a minute silence. The divine me is always there. I am made with love. I am made with light. Wherever I go, love flows. Wherever I go, I'm led by light, the inner light and the outer light, which I share with the world. When I am so powerful, when I'm all about love, then let me be the channel for blessings for someone today. Let me be the channel for love. Let me be the channel for light. Let me be compassionate, understanding everyone that we are all radiating at the same level, human level. We're all one, the eternal oneness. And let me send him or her blessings to heal. And so it is. How wonderful. So this is what all of us are coming at, driving ourselves in. Now let's read the next paragraph. Also, it's about compassion itself. Yes, please.
Sorry, one of the most powerful?
The realization of this deathless dimension.
The realization of this deathless dimension, your true nature, is the other side of compassion. On a deep feeling level, you now recognize not only your own immortality, but through your own, that of every other creature as well. On the level of form, you share mortality and the precariousness of existence. On the level of being, you share eternal, radiant life. These are the two aspects of compassion. In compassion, the seemingly opposite feelings of sadness and joy merge into one and become transmuted into a deep inner peace. This is the peace of God. It is one of the most noble feelings that humans are capable of, and it has a great healing and transformative power. But true compassion, as I have just described it, is as yet rare. To have deep empathy for the suffering of another being certain, to have deep empathy for the suffering of another being certainly requires a high degree of consciousness, but represents only one side of compassion. It is not complete. True compassion goes beyond empathy or sympathy.
So let's turn the page.
It does not happen until sadness merges with joy, the joy of being beyond form, the joy of eternal life.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Anju, for reading. So can you turn the page back again to 163? Yes. So now, the minute we are all compassionate or trying to be there, when we're realizing that, okay, there's a desolate dimension, that's our true nature. I, the soul, am eternal. I will always come, I will always go. And even my human goals are great and I will work on them, but without becoming too attached. Then on this deep feeling level, you recognize that, oh, I'm immortal, yeah. Prachi will die, but somebody else will be born. So, like my higher self's name is Kamal, I've spoken about this. And Kamal's journey is eternal, it's always ongoing on. So, then if that is my truth, if I am not Prachi and I'm Kamal, then there's nothing called mortality, there's nothing called existence. It's just beautiful. Everything is lovely. It's all about being. And when I am being, when I am radiating at a high level, resonating in beautiful vibrations, I'm all about love, I'm all about kindness, I'm all about compassion, then miracles happen. In compassion, what's happening? Then there are two parts of compassion. First part is the seemingly opposite feelings of sadness and joy merge into one. No, sir, we are on the same page. Yes. They merge into one. And now you may have heard, no? Sadness and gladness are the parts of the same coin. एक ही पहलू के दो side है, sadness भी gladness भी. Why? Because we have to accept them to enjoy them both. If there is no sadness, how would there be gladness? We will not even know the value. And when they merge into one, we have a deep sense of feeling of peace because we accept the negatives and the positive. And that peace is beautiful. And that peace is something which will transform our own identity. It will heal us from deep within. The minute we learn to accept, biggest lesson for this, for us in this beautiful journey beyond happiness and unhappiness, there is peace, is to accept whatever it is the way it is. And the minute we accept, the transformation has begun. So all of us have some intention which is known already by our soul. संकल्प चाहे हम लें चाहे हम नहीं लें, इंटेंशन हमारी है, वो पता है उसको. Now, when you have accepted, then there is true compassion for yourself. And when you have true compassion for yourself, you can try and be compassionate for others. Now, the minute you have deep empathy for the suffering of another being, certainly requires a high degree of consciousness, but represents only one side of compassion. It is not complete. Why? So now you're going through something and I'm like, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I really understand. You're really going through so much. But for that, I have to be present in the now. Let's turn the page, sir. So true compassion goes beyond empathy and sympathy. It does not happen until sadness merges with joy. The joy of being beyond form, the joy of eternal life. So yesterday we had a very heavy conversation in the family. Like I'm a Jain by birth. So when I lost Rishi, on the third day after we had everything was over, you're supposed to give his position to another person who's done his last rites, include him in the family. It was my younger brother, my cousin. And I had to do arta, invite him. And mom was like, you've gone through such a, mom lost her nephew too. So they were back from Kanpur yesterday. And we were talking about it. I said, Mama, I saw no wrong in it. Rishi went, Siddhant was welcomed. It's okay, I did it. And she's like, modern bachche bhi aise bolenge. So I was like, no, but because I accept we've lost him. And now nobody can take his place literally, but life has to move on. So if you accept sadness with gladness, when the two come together, when there's a form, now that joy is eternal joy. And that's the true sense of life. That all of us must be compassionate. कुछ negative हो रहा है, it's okay. ये आया है, ये जाएगा. हम accept कर लेते हैं इसको. It's fine. For this, even sometimes you're talking about business goals. Today you have a fabulous business. You have amazing. Tomorrow the same. Suppose you're working on 2-3 vendors and that vendor moves. It's okay. ये जाएगा तो कोई नया better आएगा. So let's understand this is the real life. Tomorrow we will move our journey into a different order of reality. And thereafter, the final will be surrender. So now we are moving very slowly. पहले हमें accept करवाया, फिर हमें compassion सिखाया, अब हमें reality बताएंगे, फिर हमें surrender बताएंगे, which is the final thing. So the book is coming to a so gladness is equal to sadness. Yes, absolutely. Gladness and sadness are part of the same coin. So if you're glad, you'll also be sad sometimes, and accepting both of them will take us into the next level. So actually it should be gladness plus sadness plus acceptance is equal to evolution or transformation or joy or peace or bliss. So if you accept all forms of life the way they are, good or bad, then you are just going to elevate your journey. Or I could also say gladness plus sadness plus acceptance is equal to higher consciousness, as into the higher being that I'm being right now. And that is life. So thank you, Asmeet, for this in the morning. So thank you, Rahul sir, for showcasing this beautiful book. Thank you, Anju, for reading so beautifully this deep, deep, deep chapter. We're coming to a very beautiful conclusion in this journey of the power of now. Couple of days and we'd be pretty much, we'll see through it. So amazing. Does anyone want to read the heart thought today? Let's see what's coming our way. And I would want to give today's center stage to Karishma. She's not been a little well, but the lady's been at it. So how wonderful. Uniqueness. When we grow up, we get so worried about what the neighbors think. We say to ourselves, will they approve of me? Everybody and everything is unique and different and meant to be that way. If we are like other people, then we're not expressing our own specialness. So isn't that beautiful?
Mm.
Society is making us into good or bad, this or that. And you're seeking, you're validating the approval because you feel there's some lack in you. So that is something all of us have to understand. That I am my own unique self. So I can't be like Anju. Anju can't be like me. I can't be like Sanya. Sanya can't be like me. I can't be like Shelly. She can't be like me. None of us can be like anyone. We can learn from each other कि हाँ, अरे ये उषा जी में बहुत बढ़िया quality है ना. I want to learn this. Yeah, Rima has this quality. I want to learn it. Yeah, so all of us have a guru. All of us have a teacher within us. We can be the teacher. We can learn from everyone. But this is who I am. I am truly happy in being me. I am my own unique self. So, Karishma, could you please raise your hand? You can read this if possible, or maybe you have a bad throat. So, yes, Sanya, thank you, my dear. So, Karishma, do you want to? Karishma can just update all of us. Yes, please, Sanya.
I'm my own unique self. You are not your father. You are not your mother. You are not any of your relatives. You are not your teachers at school. Nor are you the limitations of your early religious training. You are yourself. You are special and unique, having your own set of talents and abilities. No one can do things exactly the way you can do them. There is no competition and no comparison. You are worthy of your own love and your own self acceptance. You are a magnificent being. You are free. Acknowledge this as the new truth for yourself, and so it is.
How wonderful. Today, probably we'll just meditate on these few lines, but very, very deep lines. Amazing. Thank you so much, Sanya, for reading. Karishma, thank you, sir, for showcasing this book. We can now have Karishma speak to us. It can be the gallery mode. It's great. So yes, Karishma. Karishma has been coming up with a lot of beautiful flyers. Today, she will be sharing them. They'll get broadcasted to all of us. What's the plan, Karishma? Can you just share your beautiful work for all of us?
Do you want me to show the work?
You can if you want. We can. Sir, can you allow her to share the screen, please?
Oh, I'm not sure if I've got it saved.
That's okay. If you just want to tell us about it, even that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, we've been working on trying to summarize the Magic Weight Loss pill book by Luke. And we've created 3 flyers, which are the detoxes that we've done: the lung, the kidney, and the liver. So what we've tried to do is try to summarize the detoxes, each detox on a single page. And you can just print that page out and you'll have all the information regarding the detox on an individual page. That's one thing that we've done. The second thing is it's easier for all of us, it's a lot of information in this book. So we've tried to come up with an easy way of figuring out when to do a detox in a month or in a week. So we've sort of come up with a calendar. This is not set in stone. We can all choose when we want to do the detox as per our own thing, but this is like it just helps us understand the gaps and when to do it. And the third thing that we've done is we've come up with a sort of like a diet for an everyday diet based on the book, obviously, and how we can incorporate that in our lives. So again, this is not set in stone. We can obviously add and subtract things, but it is a general thumb rule of what all we can do. So these are the three things that we've done. One is a calendar of sorts of when to do the detoxes, a flyers of the detoxes with all the information. And the third is like a general, easy to follow diet following Luke's book. So these are the three things.
Thank you, Karishma. So as you all know, in the next batch, I'm not going to be reading the Luke Cottino's book every single morning, but just giving a little power facts and giving them a reference of this chapter. Karishma, what you've done for the entire Sangha is beautiful. Even the future Sanghas, they all will be really grateful because you've put them all the studies in together, and anyone prints out that paper and you're like done. So I'm sure if Luke Cottino was to find your analysis the way you've done, it's going to be so amazing, and he'll be grateful and probably one day get showcased in one of his books. It's so beautiful. So thank you for that. Today, all of you will be getting those broadcast messages. She's worked really hard. Not only are they beautiful in their, knowledge bank, but they are laid out very beautifully. She's designed them and they're looking magical. So thank you for this. And I hope all of us together as a Sangha, even the ones who are not progressing on to the next, the three Sangha, please, let's just continue this journey. It's not like a bye-bye ever. It's just the beginning, as I keep saying. So let's just take Karishma's learning from Luke's book and intertwine in our life and have a healthy life. Remember one thing, our body is the most important place we live in. So if that body of ours is healthy, we can definitely reach ourselves, we can evolve ourselves mindfully, spiritually, and a lot emotionally once we are healthy within. So very important for us to get this. And I was guided to have Karishma, and she's championed the cause so beautifully. So thank you, darling. Thank you for this. It's really a beautiful favor, and it's a good seva for all of us. Thank you. So today we'll meditate a bit about what we've said about empowerment, about how life should be. And let's see what journey is unfolding for all of us. It'll just be about blessings. It'll just be about some affirmations. And let's go for it. Let's watch our postures, our back straight, a soft smile on our faces, a feeling of content. Let's inhale love. Feel it filling our bodies. Exhale love and share it with the world as widely as possible. Inhale light. Our inner world is brightened because we can see things clearly. As we exhale, we are sharing our light with the world. We are like the little light that makes the world around so bright and beautiful. Let's share our light. Let's inhale our uniqueness. Each one of us is unique. Each one of us is learning to grow. Each one of us is evolving. And as we exhale, we're sharing our uniqueness with the world. I am unique the way I am. I accept myself in true totality. I love and accept myself right now. I am one with everything on this beautiful Mother Earth. I feel the eternal oneness with people. I feel my compassion is growing. My understanding is growing. I accept everything with ease. I flow with the joy of life because I am my own unique self. I'm not an impression or reflection of anyone. I am who my soul wanted me to get created. I am an extension of my soul. So I know wherever I am, it's for my highest best. I am a teacher. I learn from my own life lessons. I teach how much ever I can, only to those who learn to accept. I am a student, always learning from everyone around me. I'm limitless. I'm boundless. I'm vast, like the oceans. So much comes my way, and I accept with humility, love, grace, and gratitude. I have my own special and unique talents, which I work on. I'm on this inward journey where I find my own ikigai, my life's purpose, and I start living my life with that beautiful new perspective. I'm not a part of competition. I'm not a part of comparison because I truly accept myself the way I am. I am wonderful. I deserve my own love. I deserve my own compassion. I deserve my own self acceptance. I deserve my own kindness. When I am full of love, then I share my love with the world because I am free. I am liberated. I am getting enlightened. And I acknowledge all of the above that I've said before about myself. Now I realize how important it is to acknowledge and accept for my own evolution. And I intend this for myself. May I always learn. May I always be a learner. May I always be a finder. May I be a seeker. And yet, at every point, may I have been a person who's found something, acknowledged, appreciated. May I be always whole and complete at every moment, the way I am right now. I am whole and complete. And so it is. Let's bow down our heads in gratitude towards Mother Earth. Dear Mother Earth, thank you for always being a giver. Today, through the roots of my souls, I invite integrity. May I always be committed to my cause and not waver ever. May I be disciplined. May I always find miracles and magics everywhere I go. And having said that, let the world be full of miracles and magics. Let all human beings feel the ascension and embrace the newness. And so it is. Let's thank our wonderful life by looking at it with our eyes closed at eye level and thank it for whatever we've had, what experiences we're going through. Dear life, thank you for nurturing me with these beautiful experiences. I did not learn much before because I did not accept. I was in denial. I'm sure turning into a new key and I'm loving the new me. Grateful for all that I've learned. Dear present, I love you. Thank you for nurturing me so beautifully. Dear future, you are magical and full of miracles because the world is full of magic and miracles. And you will only see that because that's a reflection of you. And so it is. Let's open our hands and trust thank our heavens above. Dear heavens above, our universe, thank you for having our back. Thank you literally for always being there for all of us. Thank you for allowing us to resonate on a higher frequency, on us to always take back something new every single morning and allowing our day to become magical. Divinities, thank you so much for showering us with the choicest of blessings. Angels, a big gratitude to you for showing us the path. Guardians, Thank you for always ensuring that I am safe and protected. And so it is. Expand our angel heart. I am love. I am light. I share my light by burning my by sharing my light. I shine bright, right now, right here. I'm open and receptive to all the love and goodness from all universes. I am a channel of love and light. Let's fold our hands in gratitude for everything from heavens to earth below. Rub our hands. With a quick whiff, bless our head, our face, our neck, our shoulders, our arms, our back, our front, our gut area, our legs, soles, and come back up. Let's thank all the organs in our body for working on the optimal best. Our trillions of cells, our blood circulation system, muscles, tissues, glands, fibers, and skin and bones. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dear energy, let's bless each other, our loved Sangha, their loved ones, and all beings on Mother Earth. Let there be light. Anju, Gyanji, Ushaji, Nisha, Mudita, Sanya, Rigu, Naveen, Alona, Parul, Rima, Asmeet, Shivangi, Shivani, Richa, Pratimaji, Prashant, Nikita, Karishma, Jitendraji, Chandra, Ravi, Ankur, Prachi Diwan, Sunita, Sakshi Surekha, Shubhra Saraf, Seema, Ankita, Anika, Radhika, Kripa, Alifia, Mitu, Rohini Choksiji, Amit Gupta, Shelly, Vandana, Hina, Shammi Ankur, Bharadbhai, Gaurav, Mom, Minakshi, Richa. Thank you, Rahul sir. Thank you, Ritesh sir. Thank you, Amrita. Thank you, Shweta. Thank you, Sanjay sir. So thank you so much. I have a request. If it's not too much to ask all of you, whoever feels, no compulsion, nothing. If you can share your testimonial, a normal recorded video of yours as to what you learned in these beautiful one-to-one days, if there is something that you've learned and you want to share. Why I'm asking for it is because sometimes it's important for people to see your own testimonials. So if you're sharing, which thank you to a lot of you that you've shared the flyer and the registration details with people you know, only if possible. There's absolutely no compulsion. If you think if you've earned something out of this, then please share it with your loved ones. And your video will speak a lot more than your mere written words can. So not too long a video. We have a few testimonials which are there in the YouTube from the first Sangha. So if you'd like to be a part of it, for us to archive it for later and to hear what you've learned, it'll be lovely to share with your loved ones and for us to share with others, only if possible. So thank you for this. If anyone's sharing, it'll be wonderful. You feel free to share that on the group as well, so that all of us can hear what we have to say about each other and the learnings. So thank you so much. God bless you all. Let's meet each other tomorrow at 5. Until then, take care, be safe. Love and light.